Let's take a look at the work of Ursulina Schule-Witte at the Bierpinsel and Schlosstrasse station in Berlin. This is Fragments of the Future. So let's look at the work of Ursulina Schule-Witte, who worked with her husband Ralph as well, but I know for a fact she was the design brains behind the business. We're going to look at Schlosstrasse, U Bahn station, and we're going to look at the Bierpinsel, which is above it. Two fantastic and exuberant pieces of late 60s, early 70s design. So the Bierpinsel opened finally in 1976, proposed initially in the mid-60s. Who knows what it really is or what it was designed for, but it has lived on to be a landmark here in Steglitz. People here consider it their own, and the only thing that we need to change about it is to repaint it red, which is how it was originally. It looked very, very good when it was red. Look at the old photos. But a very weird and amazing landmark here in Berlin. I'm obsessed with this building, and do you know what? I've never been in. It would have been so great to party here back in the 70s. The building went on the market at one stage. I think it was for €1 million. I wanted to get a Kickstarter together and see if some people wanted to buy it and reopen it. It's also been used as a location for the Netflix show Dogs of Berlin. But can you imagine living here? Konig's Gallery, there's an apartment in there in the old Brutalist Church, St. Agnes Kirche in Kreuzberg. Johann Konig built an apartment there, so I think you could build an apartment here. Kevin MacLeod, are you up for it? This is the story of Berlin's weirdest building, the Bierpinsel. The name in English means beer brush. It got its name because people said it looks like a toilet brush. Now, how the hell did we get this crazy building here in Steglitz? How did it happen? Some context. When Berlin was split between East and West, East Berlin, the communist side, got Mitte. They got the city center of Berlin. Now, this left West Berlin with a problem. What was it going to use as its city centre? They had the Kuhdamm, Kurfürstendamm, and Zoo Station. They built that area up to be a new city centre. It was always a big part of entertainment and shopping in the city. But they wanted other main city centre locations where you could have shopping, entertainment, drinking. And Steglitz, they decided, was going to be one of those places in West Berlin where you're going to have a new centre. So there was a lot of redevelopment around here, shopping malls, new shops. They wanted new bars. There's a bar. Maybe not quite what the planners had in mind. And then they also were redeveloping Berlin's road system. Now, Steglitz got a lot of new road-based development. There's this thing called the Avus, which is an apartment block which is 1 kilometre long on top of a motorway, just like this motorway here. And that's about 1 kilometre away in another part of Steglitz. And then this flyover is a huge double-lane highway which goes right across the main shopping street in Steglitz. So there's a lot of redevelopment, a lot of new roads. Berlin was going to be rebuilt with a lot of roads, and Steglitz got a lot of those new roads. So the road was going to come through here. What are we going to do to make the road cooler, more than just a regular overpass? How about build something like this? The other part of what was happening here was the U Bahn extension, the U9, the U9. That was extended. West Berlin got rid of all its trams and replaced them with a lot of U Bahn lines. So they built a new U Bahn here, and this is the end station, Schlossstrasse station. Try saying that after a few Bitburgers. Now, Ursulina Schule-Witte and her husband Ralph had gone in for competitions to design other subway stations before, and they got the job to design Schlossstrasse station. Try saying that after a few Bitburgers. So the station is under here, and they linked all those projects together: the U Bahn station, the highway overpass, and then they wanted to build something momentous, something unique, and this is what they chose. We're going to look at some more of Ursulina's work. She is, for my money, one of the best pop architects ever. Full stop. Her eye for detail, for colour, for fun, for shape, for space is really second to none. I absolutely love it. As a brutalism fan, I cannot help but be wowed by Ursulina's pops of colour, her flights of fancy. Other people were designing grey boxes, brutalist concrete with nothing on the outside, Werner Dittmar's St. Agnes Kirche, plain, austere, potent brutalism. Ursulina said, no, I want to build pop and I want to build something remarkable. And this is what we ended up with, the Bierpinsel, a remarkable monument to a remarkable architect, Ursulina Schule-Witte. And I would love to go for a beer there one day. I mean, I don't drink anymore, zero alcohol beer. And you know what? I think it's perfect to do this at dusk. I mean, there's no other choice, the light's gone. But I think it makes it even more atmospheric, and I absolutely love it. This is the main shopping street down in Steglitz, by the way. And yes, you can park your car for free on the overpass. My dad would be happy about that. Look at the Bierpinsel though, absolutely incredible. One of a kind, there's nothing like this in the world. Ursulina Schule-Witte was born in 1933 in Germany. She went to TU, the Technical University in Berlin, and graduated in the early 60s in architecture. She joined this firm of Bernhard Hemkes. By all accounts, he was quite a tough boss, monstrous perhaps, worked for him with Ralph, who she went on to marry, and then, of course, they worked on their own. Ursulina was obviously brought up in this atmosphere of modernity, of newness, of dreaming of the future, of imagination. The plans for Berlin during that time were outlandish. We're going to talk about some of those in other videos. There was really a sense that anything could be done. West Berlin was also transgressive. You didn't have to stick to the rules here. You could try new things. You could break barriers, and you could create a new world. And West Berlin wanted to say, we're different from the East. We're modern. We're fun. Come and look at this crazy building. I'm obsessed by the idea that David Bowie must have come here at some point. Can you imagine partying in there with Bowie? Now, this is actually the first time I've noticed the round lights in Schlossstrasse station are exactly the same shape as the lights that Ursulina then put into the ICC station. You will recognize the underparts of the ICC station. It's been in a lot of videos, a lot of photographs. It's orange and it has these circular lights, and it looks absolutely amazing. But I think this was the inspiration for it. That is, the International Convention Centre, which she designed later. Ursulina's use of colour is fantastic down here. Yellow, green, red, blue. The colour really makes it come alive. It looks like a Playmobil shop. Also, the recurring shapes you can see, these tubes and circles, the struts, showing how the building is made. These recur in the ICC, the International Convention Centre, which she built later. This is almost like a prototype for that, really. But it's fun. It's also deserted. That's kind of eerie. So we're down in the U Bahn underneath the Bierpinsel, underneath the main street of Steglitz, and underneath the flyover. So the whole project, you can kind of think of it as layers. So there's the U Bahn station, which is in 2 layers as well. This is the southbound layer, and then above is the northbound level, and then there's the street level in Steglitz. Then there's a sort of intermediate parking level. Then there's the highway, and then the Bierpinsel on top. Layers. And back in the 60s, believe me, there was an obsession with architects about these levels. What were the different levels and how we're going to separate that, and cities were going to all be built on different levels. You can see that in the Alison and Peter Smithson plan for Berlin as well. Levels, escalators everywhere. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Fragments of the Future. Please leave me a comment or a like. And I hope you'll join me again soon for another episode. Please subscribe if you feel like you would enjoy more of what I do. That would be great. Until then, my name has been Christopher Beanland. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you soon. You know, I've not noticed this before, I don't think. This is the red that it used to be painted. Incredible. Bring back the red.